anyway. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, let's keep it to an
That's
hour.
smart. That's not possible. Not with us four. That is never going to happen.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're live.
Your head.
Okay. So,
So, anyway, I'm making lunch. So, I'm going to go and grab my lunch. And while we're waiting for people to come in. But anyway, Christine, what were you going to tell us?
no, it was in Delbic 3, and there was clearly the WHO, they want to have the world power. There's all the power is to the medical mafia. And then on the other part was that also Geert van den Bosch was back on Delbic 3, and he said also now that the sickness is going to be very much more, and people are getting weaker and weaker, which is not they don't talk about it anymore. But the Omicron was luckily a lightly virus, but it doesn't go away. And now there is coming another virus, because the virus itself gets stronger and stronger, because that, how do you call it, spike protein or whatever that protein is trying to is feeding the virus and makes it more stronger, and not the opposite. And that's why, I mean, you have to follow his interview with yeah, because he explains it. It's a bit hard to follow, at least for me. And but then Delbic 3 explains it also another in a more simple way. But it is not, yeah, even that sickness is going to be a big part of the next year to come. And especially, yeah, even in summertime, so many people have now little diseases, and not only like flus, and but so many other diseases that is coming up, which they don't talk about, but which they already find out. And so, I mean, it was a kind of mind blowing and kind of a bit scary too. But Delbic 3 is never like always in optimistic. But at that point, he was not optimistic, and if he is not optimistic, then I think, oh, this doesn't look good at all. This doesn't look good at all. But it
Well,
was really worthwhile seeing it, because I mean they work so hard for the betterment. I mean, I feel they're such good people, and all those together. I would really like to join such, I mean, those spirit people with such a big high spirit. That's so amazing. Even if it was only for like maybe we die all together, but then you better die with all the people around you in a happy spirit than
yeah,
die. That is, I don't mind to die with a happy spirit around people. Me, uh,
right.
that is the best. But because
I
yeah,
just I just wanted to add though, and I'll try to talk in code because this is so gonna get banned if not. But um, so the fizzy donuts have like 1,200 side effects, right? And one of them is hepatitis. Okay, so now there's a new strain of hepatitis in children, right?
yes, that's one of
So
it.
wait, yeah. So wait, they're blaming it on dogs. Wait,
Oh
it
my
gets better.
god!
It gets better, right? Because first of all, there's lots of different kinds of dogs, right? So you got to specify what kind of dog is it. That's one. And two, wait, this is the best part though, right? So we live with dogs for over 10,000 years, right? No weird hepatitis. Then fizzy donuts come out and there's weird hepatitis. But that has nothing to do, no relation at all. But the dog thing for 10,000 years, yeah, that's it.
It's the problem now. The dogs. It's crazy.
That's
Yeah, but
clown
that's what
world.
they.
That's no logic. That is insane
Yeah, the same.
that we are accepting this as freaking
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah, but that's the same with the heart heart troubles they get. It's not related to the virus. It's just that it's a coincidence that nowadays, or what do they relate it to? Oh, yeah, they're related to with people who are not vaccinated or whatever. I mean, it's never related to the vaccine,
The
never.
donut,
Whatever,
yeah.
and people believe it. People believe it. That's the worst part. People believe it. That's really the worst part. It's so, yeah, come on.
because we're living in the end times. Hey guys, before we started, we were talking about good stuff, and that's the next 2 years of hell and horror that's about to be unleashed on all of us.
Yeah, it's the time of the last judgment, and take it. It's for real. But oh, Gerard, you on your in a short talk on TikTok, there was some guy who was talking about what I was telling just now ago about that hellish world to come, and the revelation. He was also referring to the revelations, but because it's on. It broke off. So I would like to hear it totally, because it was just 2 seconds. Because when you put it on Facebook, you only hear like few seconds and then it breaks off. So,
All
but
right,
that was
so
about the last revelations. And then the one person who told me, yeah, I would love to hear him talk on our live stream. He knows a lot about it. He studied it from 2012 and he kept doing it till now. He find everything out. But and he thinks that we're all gonna die for sure. There's no possibility. But people who don't comply, they go immediately to the 5D realm. So so dying is the best you can do.
so
And
seeing
otherwise,
how
yeah.
Susan and Christine just ruined everybody's day with all this negativity. Jonathan, will you tell us something happy? Sing a song or dance. Do something. Do you know how to tap dance, brother? Can you make something up happy?
I'm not as dark as Christine. I don't know where that's talk about Scorpio. I'm dark as shit, but she's dark. She's like, everybody's gonna die. Everybody.
Yeah, but
You know when shit's getting
You're so happy.
Everybody.
it's getting real when Christine drops the F-bomb. That's just like
Yeah.
it. That's
And, and,
That's the
and
best.
she was so nonchalant, like, yeah, everybody's gonna die. That's gonna be the end of. And I'm like enjoying it because you know my hashtag is we all gonna die. We all gonna die. We keep playing these little stupid games. We
I'm
gonna
like-
die.
I'm like, like 90% of us are going to die, but there'll still be 10% to go on and start over. I have hope.
yeah.
Small.
Yeah, now, yeah.
I think the human race
Everybody's
will
gonna
make it.
die. Dying is the best thing you can do.
Yeah, but you go to another realm.
You know what?
Who wants to be on this earth? I mean, now, with these times.
I do. You know what? That's what makes me, because I used
Yeah,
to be
true.
like, I need to get off this planet. Like, this planet is bullshit, right? But now that I know nature, our planet is freaking awesome. This could be a really cool place.
But that is heaven. Yeah,
Us. It's us.
yeah, but
Our
true.
fault.
Yeah, but but the thing is, all realities exist at the same time. So the other higher reality is also on Earth, but then the good times.
Yeah.
So that would be
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, maybe it's too dark because that guy scared me a little bit, and that's why. But and I thought, okay, but we are just so free now. Now, for the time now, we are free. We can go everywhere. We can drive with the car everywhere to our neighbor countries. Nothing, and so it looks like everything is so peaceful and the war is far away. But yeah, that's for now.
Yeah, but we're not free.
No, we are not free. No, we are not free.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
No, not even a little, but yeah, it is true. We are not free.
You know what? Rest in the solace that the next generation, the couple hundred people that make it, they'll be free. The rainbow
Yeah, that's
people, they'll be free.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna get good stuff, but like in 1,000 years.
No, not in 1,000 years. That is then where I will be optimistic. That is within 5 years.
Okay.
That is
I
where
don't know.
will be.
I think we got to do Mad Max for a few years.
How am I the only one on this panel that has any reality-based conception of time?
Yeah, we don't have.
Happening right now.
So I have to admit that, first of all, we probably should do a warning and disclaimer. We're being very honest today. And if you want happy-go-lucky bunnies and kittens and everything's great and it's going to be fantastic in the short term, this is probably not the live stream you want to watch. I was always trying to be positive, and in terms of like, I think that we figured out the last moments, we'll use social media, we'll use the internet, we'll use our abilities, we'll come together in hard times. I think they played their cards so well, the people who actually run all of it. And I actually don't think we're going to avoid history. I think history is going to repeat. I think we are going to go through some sort of revolution or war. I think people are too believing in the people who run everything. And so I think our time has already passed. They're not stopping. You know, Big Pharma is still coming, and most people are not going to go along with it. And Russia's probably going to get pissed off when they finally either get, you know, enough Russian troops killed, or America's going to be pissed off when they find out our soldiers are already there and they've already been dying to Russian guns. So
Yes.
I think some real rough times are coming in the short term. I don't foresee anything positive. I think that we've lost we lost our way, and we lost our window for a peaceful solution to the whatever group is trying to take over the world.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I will not be flashing my boobies. I don't really care how bad things are. I'm never going to flash my boobies. It's just not going to happen, Robert. I'm sorry.
And to bring that all back to ancient knowledge, right? The whole shit show collapse of what we're going to have to go through, right? Like, seriously, like, they're starving babies on purpose. I mean, they've already been blowing them up and eating them, but now they're starving them.
Yeah.
But they were foreign babies from other countries. Who cares? Now they're doing it to American babies too.
Yeah. Yeah, and do you know, in Afghanistan there is a big famine, an extremely big famine. Afghanistan, it's really terrible.
Oh yeah. But
Well, it was a drought first, and it was interesting because the drought, it started when we invaded, and it was the biggest drought that they've had in like 100 years or something, and magically it coincided with our invasion.
Yeah.
So it doesn't boggle me that there's, you know, a great famine there. I doubt it's anywhere big as the Yemen famine, you know, the
Yeah,
biggest
probably.
artificial famine of our existence. I don't know. I don't think the universe is happy with us.
Yeah, and then
I think that we had a chance to act like we were.
Another thing, we found out here in Belgium, they export so much water to Saudi Arabia, and we are getting too much drought now, and all the water is exported to Saudi Arabia.
yeah, well,
Nice.
that's like we tapped our oil reserves to help the American people, but we shipped it all to Europe.
Yeah, so and we shipped all the water to Saudi Arabia.
It's all pretend. Like, I seriously cannot believe at this point that, like, you talk about revolution, Gerard, right? And of course it's going to go into like bombs and killing each other, hacking and shit, because we're psychotic, and that's what we were taught to do, and that's what we're going to do because we can't think outside the box ever. But really, the revolution could just be like, we're not doing it anymore. Everything runs because of us, so we're not doing any of it anymore, and just wait it out. That's all we would really have to do. But we're not.
And my
Let's
hope,
survive.
though,
Let's
is
survive.
it's this small that we're going to do that. But I hope we do. That would be nice.
Yeah. Everybody's like, we're just going to turn our yards into gardens and we're going to help each other. And yeah. Nope. We're not going to do it.
No, it's not good. Yeah. Everybody is so much, but it's, you know what, that is the thing. Everybody is so much learned through whole 2000 years. You have fight for yourself. You have to be competitive. So everything is focused on you, me. I have to survive, but never focus on we have to take care for each other. Giving does give more. Giving is living. Giving is living. Taking is dying. I mean, that's what nations do. They take.
In order for people to help other people, those people have to be in a position where they're capable of being helped.
Yeah.
It's like learning. we have this idea that, you just come into a classroom and you sit down and you learn how to write, you learn math, you learn science, you learn this, you learn that. But as far as spiritual knowledge goes, you have to learn how to learn first and learn how to be taught. And these people out there that are getting the jabs and doing everything that the boob tube tells them to do, doing everything that Jive Bowden and all the other criminals are telling them to do, they're not ready to listen yet.
Actually,
They
it
haven't
is.
suffered enough yet. And those that survive may come around and say, okay, help us, teach us.
Yeah, I think that
We
will be
have to
only a
survive
few.
ourselves and be in a position where we have an answer for them when they come knocking on our doors 6 years from now, 10 years from now, whenever it is, 100 years from now, and have an answer for them so that we can actually, okay, now you're ready to listen to us. Here's what you need to do.
Are they going to knock on our doors?
No.
Will we have
Maybe a
doors
few.
then, or we'll just have grass in front of our cave entrances?
Yeah.
No,
But you know, I
besides
think. Yeah. Sorry, say.
besides damn it, not what were you saying, Jonathan? Jesus.
Knocking on the door for help.
Well,
Oh,
we can't let ourselves be sucked into their whirlpool of
Yeah.
bad karma and bad choices and chaos.
Yeah, that's it. They have to live it out.
I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna take my library with me, and I'm gonna make sure that I survive as much as I'm able to. Right.
But besides their suffering not being great enough, they've also it's like, okay, everything on the outside tells them who they are on the inside.
Yes,
Do you know
because
what
they
I'm
listen.
saying? So
Yeah.
they're not gonna, because this is the identity they have clung to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just who they are now. So if they give that up, they are nothing. So it's a cult. They're in a cult.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
in a cult of mentality.
Right.
And for real. And
Yeah.
like, because even like listening to us, whatever, like you can listen to whoever you want and get as much advice and information, but it's kind of like you have to find your own way.
Yeah. And it's
People
also,
in
I
cult-
think,
People
the
in cult
universe.
have to go through hell in order to break that conditioning. They have to
Yeah.
suffer.
Yeah.
They just have to suffer. It's the only thing that'll get through to them.
Yeah,
know?
and then it's too late.
A lot for the majority, yeah, they'll die.
Mhm.
They'll die.
Most people will because they didn't want to do their own learning, and like universe doesn't help for people who are self-destructive.
No.
That's also a truth.
Right.
They're not going to help. They haven't giving enough chances by many people to come to bring wisdom. They all got killed. All messiahs got killed. All sages got killed. They got tortured. All good leaders get tortured. All good leaders get killed. They all get killed. So now the universe says, okay, now you can kill yourself. We're done with you. That's it.
And then we revere the prophets and make statues to them and build churches for them after the fact, after we killed them.
Yeah.
Great.
But now they don't let, exactly. And now it's too late because now they're free to destroy themselves. Nobody's going to help us. Nobody.
The truth is that, and this gets back to the question of freedom. I think if we don't remind ourselves that freedom is a state of being,
That's a
and
state
not something that is external. Okay, you can lock me up, you can deprive me of food. If I refuse to comply with you, with your mindset, with your ideas, you can like Thoreau. Go ahead. He says, lock up my body. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change how I think or feel or act. It doesn't change who I am, my level of being.
Right.
And for him, he beat them. He beat them because he was totally free. He says in Civil Disobedience, I realized that night when he was in jail in Concord, I was the only free man in Concord.
And who is that?
Thoreau.
Thoreau, yeah.
Yeah, Thoreau said that in Civil Disobedience when he refused to pay his poll tax because the government was invading Mexico. It was invading a sovereign nation. Sound familiar?
Yeah,
something
but
like that.
what's even cooler than being free in the mind and in the physical at the same time.
Yeah, it's
better.
but it's like Nelson Mandela. He really got enlightened. He was extremely in locked up and
Right.
totally. And he said, and he freed himself. He was already high human being, but then he had even forgiveness for the people who locked him up. He was like, what he saying is, hate is taught. It's not innate, but innate is love in human beings. I mean, he had such wisdom, and he was kind of totally transformed. Totally enlightened in this prisoning, and that happens more. But I don't think I can handle so much physical torture or whatever. I don't think I can. I cannot handle it. But some people can, and they get transformed by that. But most people, still hard to get physical. I mean, maybe your mind. I mean, they can. Yeah, they can. I mean, in words and in ideas, whatever, it doesn't mind. But in when you get physical, really like hunger. I mean, yeah, you starve. I mean, at the end, you starve. I mean, our body is not yet ready to survive without food. It probably, if you're really, really enlightened, you don't need any more food because there are sages in India. They're 1,000 years old. They don't need food because they live from prana. The body is just light.
That's something that Grace Cook says in her channeled book about ancient pre-Celtic Britain during the last Golden Age.
Yeah.
She says they got everything from the stones. What does that mean? She also said in another place the stones were alive. She's talking about Avebury and Stonehenge and the standing stones at Cavendish and these.
Yeah, I do believe that everything it's not dead. Nothing is dead. That's also what that girl says in that book what I mentioned last time. Nothing is dead. Nothing. Even if you love what you have, your computer, if you respect your computer, it does not do better work. That's simple things. And you know what? I heard it a long time ago, and somebody said, I have always troubles with the computer, and I let some drops, Bach drops, like Dr. Bach, and he has this Ethereum oils, and he gave that to his computer on the backside, and his computer did work again. It's amazing. But I thought, oh yeah, come on, that's crazy. But now, if that lady in 12D reality says that, also say, my God, that guy was right. So I'm not surprised anymore from anything.
Right.
The possibilities we have is amazing.
Right.
But the destruction power is also amazing. We have both in the height and in the lowest. That is what we human beings have. And we have to choose for the higher. And that is also love.
So beautiful thing, beautiful thing is nature wins. Sustainability wins. Balance wins. And so as bad as it is that we might be going back down the path of Atlantis, we chose it. We can whine and complain about things we don't choose. As a species, we chose extinction. We chose to be divided and conquered by billionaires and industries and politics and race and religion and all the other stupid inventions of man. And all we can probably hope to do, start making some pyramids, maybe start making Göbekli Tepe, writing down what happened, where we went wrong, where we failed, where politics started, where we started worshiping banks and money and our lifestyles and creating social media and wasting our time doing all the useless things that don't increase the beauty of this planet. But, you know, and so what brought me here anyway, to this dark place that we're in, and it's not that dark, is I sat there and I listened to people talk about how they think it's a good idea that the UN troops are coming to America, that they're going to help stop racism and they're going to help stop the police and they're going to free us and give us free health care and dental plans. And
UN troops, what are they? Are they Americans or what is UN troops? What are, I mean, from, or is it from whole
to be
world?
clear, the UN troops, well, they're already here. They've been here for a long time. They don't walk around in their uniforms. They don't walk, you know, they don't drive around in their trucks and their tanks and stuff. And so, you know, that's the narrative that they'll use to stage the invasion, is to get people to cheer for an invading force to be allowed, you know, free range. And what I was trying to explain is that it's not actually going to go that way. That the minute that these people put on their uniforms and start walking around with weapons, it's going to be seen as an invasion by people like me, by veterans, by soldiers, anybody who has an oath of the Constitution, anyone who really understands what's actually happening. And there's going to be no freedom and fun and joy and hugging puppies and kittens. It's going to go the way it's always gone. And that's the shame, is that we had the ability to make better choices, but we chose darkness. And so darkness is where we'll probably go for the foreseeable future anyway.
Yeah.
Americans are going to get a taste of what they've been dishing out to the rest of the world. That's the way.
Go on, Donna, with their karma. Yes, karma.
Being held accountable for this.
No, you're with
Don't
us.
put your white privilege on me, Jonathan.
Hi.
I have no intention to
Elton Negrito.
participate in any of that. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, that's good. You're in
Hush, El Negrito, you're with us. Karma. See, it's funny. Everybody cheers karma until it comes for them. There's like, no! And that's like, karma's coming. We beg for her. Here she comes.
Yeah, true.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
it's true.
still poor. I didn't bomb nobody or nothing. I hardly even understood.
Did you
what was
pay
going on a
taxes?
couple of years ago. I still don't know.
No, I'm tired of you minorities trying to get out the back door like you weren't a part of this, okay? You paid taxes like the rest of us. You voted, you cheered for it, you drive a car, you buy petroleum. You're a part of this. You own a cell phone.
You're allowed to make mistakes if you learn those lessons. I voted one time my whole life in 2015 for Bernie Sanders. I never voted again. I learned my lesson one time.
I don't think the universe cares. I think that you have shown your support for the death and destruction of the United States Incorporated, and we got a path to go. So you're not going to get out of it. There's no escaping. Learn to run.
No, but actually, my guru said literally, if you're complicit in if you support evil, you're complicit in it. Period. She says.
Yeah.
She says it literally, and so we're just
I supported evil my entire life.
The Witcher, right? Well, I mean, I support evil too. Like, and I poison myself every day when I go food shopping. So. And I eat their food. I poison myself when I go outside and breathe air. It's just whatever. That's what I mean. Oh, that was what I was going to get back to in the very beginning. That's the whole thing. This is a fucking shit show. It's like insane now. And like, seriously, you could be watching your kids being tortured to death in a year. And I know how horrible that is, but it could happen. That's where we are. And this is how we live now. So I really think like you have to, like they say, you're here to observe, right? And to just live in the moment and don't think about the future and don't think about the past. And that's kind of like this state of being you have to be in now, because you can't be like torn and, oh, like this side's the right side. And because that side could be the wrong side. You know what I mean? Like we don't know. So yeah, you just have to be a happy observer of the downfall of humanity. It's gonna be honest.
You have to
Remember,
Robert just
we're all gonna
said.
die anyway. We're all going to die anyway.
Exactly. Like
But
I don't want to die.
You have to die in a happy state because then you end up in a happy realm. That's it. That's all you have to do is dying happy.
This is the happiest dark live stream I've ever done.
Yeah. Yeah, follow the upward growth. Seriously though, like think about it, right? Like Navajo say there's a fourth world after this and it's better than this because it's full of more happiness, joy, confidence, peace, and something else. Yeah, that sounds like a better world than this, right? And then the Beauty Way, that's what it's called. And that's the fourth world. And then the Hopi say there's another world after this. And
everybody.
Yeah, there's always somewhere. Yeah, we go somewhere.
That's true.
There's no end.
I think it's only a bad place if that's where your mind is when you die.
Yeah.
If you're in a better mental state when you die, you go somewhere.
If you live like a sponge, you know, and you absorb everything they tell you, and you're never questioning anything, which means that you're never there. You are never there. You are never awake. You are never present. You are never questioning anything. You're going to take all of that with you wherever you end up next. No matter what it is, you are going to be in prison because you're going to be the prison of your own mind. And you're not going to enjoy paradise. You're going to end up somewhere just like this. Why? Because you didn't change this.
Yeah, true. It's the mind.
So it's sad. Basically,
choose. That's what they choose. That's what they choose.
We were playing Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
We were playing Donkey Kong. We didn't make it past the first level. We got up to the big boss, and the monkey hit us with a barrel.
Pac-Man, damn it!
Back over. We're just starting back over. That's all. I mean, Pac-Man. You know, it's going to be a little different because the monsters, the ghosts, are going to go different ways.
Right.
So it'll be a little different. It's a little different every time. But we don't ever die. We just go back to the beginning of the simulation. We got to replay the level. It'll be slightly different.
Like in Monopoly.
Hopefully this time around. Hopefully this time around, we know what love is. We know what we did wrong. You look out for that last barrel. You duck it. You know, this barrel being a billionaire, being big pharma, being, you know, power and control and all the little psychopathic things we get involved in. But it's it'll be interesting to see what comes next as this world comes to an end. Dun, 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 dun. The shame is America could have prevented all of it. That actually is the shame. America actually had the ability to stand on their own and actually just unite, come together, look out for each other, and show the whole world that you don't need central banks. You don't need the billionaires and the international control. You don't need the global government. You just need to take care of each other.
Yeah, but
we're able to do that. We could be self-sustained, but we chose not to.
Yeah, but I think America still can. I think the strongest fighters. I think they're still in America, actually. I mean, other countries too, where we don't hear from, who have a totally different life. But I mean, they know, half of Americans know we live in I mean, they know that the government is totally nuts. Europe is crazy because Europe listens to the NATO is going to cooperate with US and then all against Russia. But then, this is the most stupid thing ever, because then again, Europe will be the war where there is again a land war, and not with the cyber attacks. They want a land war, and they're preparing for actually what we already had in World War II. So.
But it's not America. America is the game player, and the UK and the EU is the game player of the WEF's fake bullshit to enslave everybody by using a war through us. It's not actually America doing it. It's not actually the UK doing it. And America didn't need to stand up. What needed to happen was like at least 3 billion people on the planet had to be like, no, we're not doing this anymore. That's all that needed to happen.
Well, actually, what they say, 10%.
You make it sound like a WWE steel cage match.
Yeah.
No, but
I
I think
seriously would rather take my chances, right? Like back in the day, if you didn't want a jury trial, you could be like, I want a trial by combat, right? And you
Yeah.
didn't have to fight yourself. You could pick
Right.
like your knight, right, to fight
Right.
for you. And to me, I would rather go back to that than what we have now. I
yeah.
would rather be like, my fighter against your fighter, whoever wins, that's the way we'll do it.
Mm,
I'd rather have that at this point.
mm. Yeah, but you know, America
Makes more
is.
sense than what we're doing.
But the thing is, what I mean, in America, everybody sees what in America happens. That's why if America is taking the good course, everybody will follow because you are most visible for the world.
Yeah,
That's
but we
what I
didn't take that
think.
course, Christine. We took the course of robbing and killing, shooting and looting. That's what we did. Drive-by shooting, blowing up nations, stealing their resources. We didn't take that course. We decided, and we were prideful too. We did it like, yes, this is American freedom. We're going to save other people, and we're saving ourselves too. And we invited the karma, and that karma is right around that corner. You can almost smell it. So no, we've decided that instead of taking all that power, Christine, and doing all that beautiful stuff, that we figured that we could take over the whole world. Like even the people who came here as slaves, or not the people because they're all dead, but the ancestors of the people who came here as slaves, and the people who came here in abject poverty looking for a better life. Like even those families that knew better decided that, you know what? We just want the spoils of war. We want the spoils of colonization. We want the spoils of slavery. We don't want to stop enslaving. We became death, destroyers of worlds. And although, you know what? I'm gonna take a Christine route though, because y'all see how Christine started the darkness and she made it all positive for a moment. I'm gonna do that too. Because look, I'm trying to be dark. It's so hard to be dark. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how. It's just weird. Like, I think the aliens at the last minute, you're going to see some big, massive UFOs over the cities or something. I don't know. Something has to happen. Like, the Watchers are still here. They're still watching. And whatever God is, whether it was a God or an alien said, I'll never leave nor forsake you. I think there's still a chance. Like, we've gotten real dark in the human race. Like, you think about it. We've pretty much been here before, but we always make it.
Yeah, but it's
so there is
because
that possibility.
See, that's what I'm saying. Even if it's down to one man and one woman, we still make it.
Yeah. But there is coming an army of angels coming out of the sky. That's said, is that not in the Revelations? An army of angels coming out of the sky to defeat the evil.
If you take it
I got
literally.
a question for Jonathan.
Yeah, you take it literally.
So
I know it's
Jonathan,
symbolic.
Yeah. Yes, go
Because-
So
ahead.
if it comes down to it and the war happens and the pole shifts and everybody dies and the zombie apocalypse and all of this Mad Max and everybody's dead and you realize you're the last man on earth and the last woman on earth is Nancy Pelosi, what's going to happen next? Are you going to rebuild the human race?
Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, no.
Thanks a lot, Gerard.
Yeah. I don't even
I'm
think
curious. Do we got a chance? Can we count on you, brother?
Nancy Pelosi. Oh God.
Can we
what
count
a
on you,
nightmare.
brother?
She wouldn't see me as a man. She would see me as a bottle of Old Turkey or a Southern Comfort. That's how she'd see me.
Oh.
Because she'd probably be delusional at that point.
She
She's
can,
delusional now, but
yeah, but she has a,
has nothing to do with being delusional. That's how they survive.
I want to know how Gerard cooked up that end of world scenario.
yeah.
Whoa.
That's funny to me. Like, I don't know.
But she's
I
living
can
between
picture-
all the alcohol she drinks every day
God.
because she cannot speak one word.
I don't know. I can picture Jonathan. You know, like I believe in Jonathan. I think he'll take one for the team. I think he'll take his sandals off and get all cozified and spooning and stuff. And nature takes its course. I think Jonathan might restart. I think instead of Adam and Eve, we
I have
have
studied
John
philosophy
and
my whole life to end up with Nancy Pelosi in the end. Wow.
Yeah.
Look,
Wow.
John, you're gonna start a religion, brother. Brother,
And
you're
very
going to start a
cute.
religion. It's going to be, instead of Adam and Eve, it's going to be John and Nancy, brother. You're going to be famous, man. You're going to be famous. Trust me.
I don't know. That's the reason. Okay, he survived everything, but then there is Nancy Pelosi. Now I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
Everybody's
I would
counting
be
on
like
you, John.
Socrates. I would be like Socrates. Hand me the hemlock. I'm ready to drink it.
Look, you drink whatever you got to, brother. Ain't nobody around.
Right.
No gonna be no war on drugs. You can have crack, meth, cocaine. You can invent your own
I'll say-
drugs if you want.
I'll
Do
say,
whatever. Like
Nancy, you're on
Alyssa
your
said.
own.
I don't know. I'm
Why
cheering
Nancy
for Jonathan.
Pelosi?
I'm Jonathan.
How do
Jonathan.
reptilians
Jonathan.
have sex? I don't even know.
What?
Yeah, it's from the back. You just gotta lift the tail up, John. Just lift the tail up, and you'll, you
find
know.
out if it's a girl or a boy.
Look at the reptiles. Do the reptilians. There you go, John. Oh, Nancy got away. Dang it, Nancy got away. Dang it. Did you see it?
Does she eat or does she just
Lizard
drink?
came in the greenhouse.
Probably just drinks. That's what I think. I don't think she's had real food in probably at least a few years.
Unless you include humans.
Oh.
And guys, I know it's a funny joke.
Nancy,
For
slow
real.
down.
It's funny because it's
Nancy.
true. That's why I say it.
Nancy. Uh-oh. Hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be in here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get out of here. You little monster.
Oh.
Well, hey, no, not you, too. What the? Oh, y'all in my trays. Ah, help. I'm under attack. It's a puppy attack. Come here, you fat. This is, what is his name? Oh, I didn't introduce you guys.
Oh,
So I got a black and white puppy to
cute.
support the end of the world narrative. The blacks and whites caused it and their nonsense. This is Anubis,
I
the
bet
black
that-
African god Anubis, and that's Freya, the white one. And Anubis,
Yay!
he's part Rottweiler and potbelly pig. She is Akita and hound dog.
Cute.
Look, hey, y'all gotta stop. All right. No, you can't be in the. No, yeah. Oh, look at this. You know what? Why did I even get y'all? Why did I even get y'all? Leave me alone. Go. Puppies are just number of problems, y'all. Then get out of here, man. Go. I love you, but go. No, go on, man. Look, he's eating my cell phone. Do you see this?
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
the play.
And this is why- Huh? This is crazy. He's biting my foot and my phone and my finger at the same time. I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea what I'm thinking. You
Yeah,
need to get a life.
Abundantly
You do.
clear, alive.
You need to get a life. Oh, Lord Jesus. It's the end of the world. Anubis, stop it. Come on. This way.
He can
All right,
guide you to
sorry.
the underworld
What we're talking
with
about?
confidence. Oh, just a
Huh?
quick,
Nancy
Thing.
Pelosi and Jonathan.
yeah.
Please change the subject.
Yeah. So there's like these thousands, maybe millions of megalithic sites. Okay, megalithic, whatever, stone sites. Let's put it that way. Structure sites in South Africa. Okay, so they're in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
and I can't remember the third one. But anyway, so they span out across, right? And they're kind of like circles, like Stonehenge, but every cluster is different. The pattern is different. So this is as far as I got though into the thing. So the everyone's different, but they're all connected with these roads or stone walls, right? And then so when they were there though, it sound frequency in different areas creates different sound frequency vibrations and stuff, right? So because I talk about this all the time, I really think, like you were saying, like something about building pyramids or whatever, right? Like I think if we were to like rebuild these things in such a way, stone using certain stones, that the electrical fields or whatever you want to call it, the natural energy of earth and shit would start vibrating at a different way, and then we would wouldn't be such dickheads.
Yeah, but you know what? That will protect you. If you can build the same kind of architecture in the same measurement, because they were very
Right, precise.
yeah, very precise, and literally a protection. I think you can really stay alive. I believe if you build it, if you hide in such places, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. They're really cool. They're like circles, and then there was like 3 circles within the big circle, and then it like swerved out to the next cluster. They're freaking awesome. So I want to, because it went back to the Anunnaki, which this was cool. So you know how everybody keeps saying like Nibiru and shit like that. Well, I think that we're a binary star system because all solar systems are binary star systems. So it's kind of odd
Yeah.
that ours is just one. I think that is some of the, like I think they've been lying to us for thousands of years since they knew this shit because they couldn't let us know that we were like free people in order to keep us their slaves. They had to keep telling us bullshit and making us believe delusions instead of reality. So I think that so then anyway, right? So they keep talking about that Nibiru and everything, but this is what's cool. And you know how on the other stone markers we talk about it all the time, the spiral shape? Like the Celts have it, the Norse have it, it's in Egypt, it's in Africa.
Usually in 2s and 3s.
Right, and it's the spiral shape. Well,
DNA.
Binary star systems, their movement around each other just creates a natural spiral that spirals out.
Yes. Right. And it's everywhere. Look at your fingertips. That's all in spiral. You look at your fingertip. Everything. Look at the shells. They're like turned in a spiral.
Yes.
Look at flowers. Look at stone. All is in that same kind of shape. It's very amazing actually.
Yeah, that's how they hypnotize you. They that black and white spiral thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have to start with that book once.
It's talking that the basis for geometry, he's talking about, he was the first one. Let me find it here. Yeah.
Which book is that?
This is the Pythagorean Source Book by Kenneth Guthrie, who was a contemporary of Manly P. Hall. He wrote this in the 1920s.
Okay.
And we're talking about the Tetrachus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but that's this. Let me see if I can get this figure right there. And it incorporates numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. It adds up to 10. I'm not going to go into it because it would, there's too much there to talk about. But basically, what he's saying is that the Pythagoreans didn't discover, but they saw that number and geometric shape are really one. You're talking about spirals and their natural occurrences in nature, and this is what the ancients knew, saw, observed, felt within themselves, saw in the stars at night. Look at Van Gogh. Look at what this uneducated peasant from the Netherlands saw.
Is he from the Netherlands, Pythagoras?
Yes, he was.
I thought he was from Greece.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Oh, Van Gogh. Oh, yeah, Van Gogh. Yes.
He was Dutch, yeah, and the way he saw the world,
beautiful. Yeah,
he was a mystic.
Yeah, and he saw the secrets, and that's why he was so sad. He couldn't communicate it to the people because they were blind. And
nobody would believe it. Nobody would believe it.
And that's why he got crazy and so unhappy because of the stupid people.
Yes. Yeah. Only his brother saw. And if it wasn't for Theo, his brother, he wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have made it as far as he did, and he wouldn't have contributed and given us the treasure that he left us.
Oh yeah, you should see the episodes, but there was also a Dutch episode from Van Gogh. Very good, very nice done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
probably it will be. I think it's Menurun Krabbe, and Krabbe is kind of
yes,
known.
yeah, right,
So I think they must have been translated in English too, because I think if he is the producer, I think they send it also to America. But
mhm,
it's really good. I really love to see it. And he did also
yes,
on Gauguin something. It was also good.
right. Mhm.
But Van Gogh is really the
But
one. Yeah.
to get back to what you were saying about the spirals, Susan, you find they're in twos and threes, and oftentimes they're in a like an infinity symbol when they're a pair, and then when they're in threes, they're like they flow into each other.
Yeah.
The spirals do,
Yeah.
and you find that image. Gerard and I saw it on the petroglyphs when we were out there.
Oh yeah.
You see it in China, you see it in Africa, you see it in all over the Americas in the petroglyphs, and you see it in Ireland, carved around the perimeter of Newgrange, and they've also got them carved inside of the stone structure. Newgrange, I've talked about it on Facebook a lot of times, but Newgrange was an ancient temple. It was built probably, I wouldn't say 4,000, 5,000 years ago. And it was used for initiation purposes. I'm absolutely convinced of that. It's aligned with the winter solstice, the sunrise on the winter solstice in the morning. That's when light enters the chamber. That's awakening. That is a ritualistic. It's a spiritual experience. It's a spiritual awakening. It's dark 364 days out of the year.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a symbolic. Yeah, it is. It's awakening. But that's also in the temples in Egypt, the old temples. There were the places,
Right.
and they were exactly as you had the picture on Facebook, Susan. The light fell exactly on where it should have fallen.
Yeah.
Exactly on that place. They were really like magicians in that time. And they
Ancient
work with
architecture all over the world does
frequencies
that.
and with lifting the stones by
Yeah.
with their mind, not
Yeah.
carrying like we do. And probably we'll go back to Stone Age. Is that not what Einstein says?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will not fight. The Third World War will not be fought with. The Fourth World War will not be fought with.
With sticks and stones.
With sticks and stones. The Fourth World War.
Yeah. Well, you know what, really, if you think about it, like we're like, oh, we evolved to the epitome of human civilization, right? So if you really think about it, they say that why? Because we have cooler toys, because we have more technology. Our behavior has remained the same for at least 2,000 years. At least 2,000 years.
Right.
So have we evolved? Because in my opinion, we've actually devolved, because at least 2,000 years ago, there was still more natural groups that tried to remain their own and use ancient knowledge, I guess, or natural knowledge. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I don't think anything about this is ancient knowledge. I think it's natural knowledge that is all around us. Right. We just don't know it.
Sue, do you remember what John Anthony West calls modern man? Do you remember what he says? He says, we are shiny barbarians.
Shiny barbarians.
Yes, shiny barbarians.
It's exactly it. He nailed it.
Yeah.
He nailed it. That's nicely said. Yeah. Yes.
We're barbarians with nukes.
Yeah.
That's how
we are actually drunken from grossness of materialism. That is what we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ghost of that's what my guru says. You are the ghost of materialism. The ghost. Nothing is alive.
Nothing. No.
Nothing. We are not alive. Actually, that's the ghost of materialism. Our senses are not refined.
Mm-hmm.
We don't sense the subtlety. We don't sense the beauty of the stars, of the trees, of a flower. We don't sense it anymore. And in the books, the old books from 1800, and so they can describe so beautiful the nature and how they feel about it. It's so nice, so sweet. Nobody can do that anymore. It's all gross.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tolkien, how he said that it's a whole chapter about nature alone. It's so beautiful. And even the old English writers, I love them. They write so beautiful.
Hmm.
That it's
Tolkien and Lewis were complete throwbacks. They gave us back heroes and heroism and values that are definitely worth fighting for. They were heroic, really, themselves. I don't agree with their version of Christianity at all, but what they gave us, what they gave the world, was they really rescued a lot of Western civilization and kept it alive for us in story and
and I think also Tolkien must have had really good knowledge about other beings,
and of course they wrote about Atlantis and Lemuria in they changed the names.
Yes,
both did. I want to talk at some point about
that would be really interesting, because I think that Tolkien saw really, how he wrote about those different civilizations in Middle Earth and things like that.
Right.
I think it's really something. Yeah, you must have known more, otherwise you cannot write like that. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of imagination, but really writing till the point that you can even make a language or invent a language, that is, you must have been really high knowledgeable and super intelligent and seeing different worlds. I do believe that. Which is amazing. I wish I was his wife.
They had their ups and downs.
yeah, probably.
I don't think she really understood him, but she, there was a lot of love there between the two of them.
Yeah.
This is a guy that, when he was 17, 18, he was 18, 19, he was in the trenches in World War I, and he's writing to his friends about the Elvish language that he's making up in his mind. Just think about that. Think about that. He's in the middle of the worst hell you can imagine, and he's inventing a language and then creating a mythology that is beautiful and sad and profound and moving at the same time. That's not someone that comes from this this prison.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
That's someone that has some kind of connection with something else.
Yeah, and he could have come out of those worlds. He was not a human being in I think in his life before. Right. I do believe he might have been an elf or whatever. Or a hobbit. But hobbits are the nice, beautiful, egoless nation who would just enjoy life as it meant to be. Earth, nice food, nice friendship, and simple life.
The Shire was the England that was dying and being replaced by
Mordor.
by Mordor. Yeah. By factories, pollution and crime and all of it. Yeah. Kenneth Grahame was another one that wrote about The Wind in the Willows. If you've ever read The Wind in the Willows, it's a magical book. And
I think, did they make it a movie?
Disney took it and Disneyfied it. I haven't seen the Disney animated version.
Oh, there's an animated version?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Wait, isn't there, which one is the one with the baby? And Ron Cunningham. Ronnie Cunningham, isn't that his name? Who's that?
Are you talking about what's the director? Ron Howard?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I'm old. I was referring to Happy Days.
Yeah. That's Gen X, That's what we watched when we were kids,
Yeah, exactly. Damn it. I thought it was that. the little munchkin guy finds the baby. The baby's like the princess or the savior or something.
Oh, Willow. Willow? Yeah,
Okay.
he directed Willow.
Okay.
Willow's actually a pretty interesting story. It's what was your point about it though?
Oh, I thought that's what the Wind in the
Oh
Willows.
no.
Okay.
No, The Wind in the Willows is about talking animals. And there in any rural town in England set along in the English countryside, in the English with the river, and they have adventures, and it's something you should. I can't really describe. It's something that it's better left to yourself reading it, and it's about a way of life that sadly was Kenneth Graham, when he wrote it, he knew that it was already being lost, and part of that is in the book. With he uses the symbol of the motor cars. The first generation of automobile was wrecking that kind of rural pastoral. Part of it is perhaps idealized, but there is something there that was lost in that and you can go to England now and find rural places like that, but it's not the same. It's not that same pace, that the pace of life that isn't rushed, isn't dependent on profit, isn't dependent on this modern mindset of that life is that life isn't lived now, in the now. And I can't really describe it. It's something that you have to read for yourself, but it's worth reading. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think when I say, because I'm always like we're in a spell, but we are, and it's crazy, and it's all intricate.
Yeah, we are.
And it's it's all with the brainwashing and what they teach us and money and everything.
Right.
But I think money is the binding agent that keeps us in the spell.
Yeah, it
Right.
is. It is.
And
Absolutely is.
it is. Like, I think, if you supposedly, if you bind someone, you wrap them, like, symbolically, so you wrap them in twine or whatever. And I think that money keeps us. That's our binding. That's
The
our
glue.
binding
It's the
agent.
glue that keeps us here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, though, this spell has something to do with time, because time is related to money and money is related to time.
Yeah. Money is time.
Yeah, they say time is money, right? And then I was thinking too, right? Like, so the average, say, washing machine is $600, right? Well, most people, actually, what is it? 30%, 50% of Americans make $32,000 a year. So that means that they think that that 40 hours of a person's labor a week is worth less than a washing machine. That 40 hours of someone's life is worth less than a washing machine. And we've accepted this as some kind of fucking normal way to live. Sorry for my language, but it really is sick. It's really,
It is.
it's
it is.
gross, really. It's disgusting.
You
like
think about it.
Money is I really feel like it's almost like a string. And if you pull that string, the whole thing starts coming apart. You know what I mean?
It's a scam to take your life force away and give you nothing in return.
Yeah.
That's the way the system
Washing
works.
machine.
To take your life force so that you waste it on trivialities,
Yeah.
and it gives you nothing back.
It's not rewarding at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really gross. Like, really, because I mean, even an hour, how can you put a value on your hour of life when that could be your last hour of life? Like, you don't know. A comet could hit at any second, because right now, yeah, the universe is like, I'm flinging comets and asteroids your way. Right now, they keep ducking us because we got some little last bit of hope going on. But I'm telling you, they keep coming. And it's odd because we don't usually get them like we've been getting them.
Yeah,
But
really? Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not following
yeah,
it then.
there's another one just not long ago, but you could only see it with a telescope.
Wow.
But yeah, I didn't even know, and because I mean my telescope takes forever to set up, but yeah, but yeah, the whole like your value, like it's like if you really start breaking it down like that, because we don't look at money like that, but if we started really breaking down like I don't know, so minimum wage is $8, right? So they think an hour of a person's life is worth 2 gallons of milk.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
it's crazy.
it's a pack of cigarettes is worth more than a person 1 hour of someone's life, according to our society. I mean, that's sad. That's really gross. That's how we live. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is, because to me, every minute is kind of invaluable because it could be your last, and we're here now. And yeah,
We're not guaranteed anything in terms of the length of your life. We're not.
right.
I could walk out of this classroom and you know
Catch COVID. Kidding. Get eaten by a zombie.
right, or get stabbed by a student that wanted me to pass him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. You didn't do
Or
any of
a
the
Russian
work.
agent. You never
Yeah,
know.
true. Yeah, that's a danger now.
A
The
drone
teachers.
bomb.
God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. We're not. We're and people, unfortunately, the choices they make, the life they live, they'd rather not think about death. They don't want to think about death. And because of that, they pretend. They make believe, and they don't want to deal with the problems. They don't want. Most people, I think, know that psychopaths run the world. They just don't want to face that. They just don't want to, because it would mean that they would actually have to do something about it.
Ignorance is bliss. And it's
They
better
think it is
victim
until the bill comes, and then they got to pay it, right?
Mhm.
Ignorance is bliss. The idea of that, I think, to me is let's just postpone the consequences. Let me sleep now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But see, like, even if it comes back to hit them in the face, right? At their mindset, it's never going to be their fault. It's going to be the government's fault.
Never.
Yeah, they'll blame it on someone else.
Fault. It's going to be
They'll blame it on us.
It's going to be Trump's fault. It'll be someone else's fault because they didn't tell them, or CNN's fault. It's
Russia. It's always Russia's fault.
It's always Russia and Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
If I die at the gates of heaven, that's my excuse. I mean, like, have you heard Jesus? It's all Russia and Trump.
Russia did it.
Yeah.
Did it.
Right. No, that's what I'm going to tell. That's what I'm going to tell Nancy. That's what I'm going to tell Nancy. Hey, don't blame me. Blame Russia, right? Right? Right, Nancy? It was Russia. It's Putin's fault, right? I could have a lot of fun.
And then she'll stick out her shiny lizard tongue and hiss at you.
I'm glad I'm into like Ren Fair stuff and Shakespeare and theater, because I've got like chainmail and a real sword, because at that point I think I'd want to like have that kind of protection from that creepy lizard vibe. Yeah. No. It's they're
in like a crocodile.
Seriously, it would be like on an episode of V from the 80s, the sci-fi series. Yeah. Peel her skin off, and then she's really like a Draco underneath.
Then all the skin falls off, and
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I want a dinosaur cake.
Yeah.
That's gonna be someone a gecko on it or something. I do.
Yeah. But people they don't want to face the truth. And that's of course the whole problem. That's why we're in this situation that we're
Yeah,
in.
true.
People don't want to face the truth. They
No,
don't want
that's-
knowledge. People say they want freedom.
But
They don't want it, absolutely
They
not.
don't.
No.
They really
Yeah.
don't.
Nope.
They'd rather be told what to do.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep. But all right, why do we always got to go to the dark place?
Yeah, now next time we talk again about the miracles from ancient time. Let's promise. Let's
Yeah.
read Pythagoras or whatever book or whatever beautiful book we talk about that.
Right.
Yeah. By Sunday, we pick a topic.
Yeah, and everybody can
About
choose.
that
Good.
topic. Yeah. Because
You realize you're talking about the four of us now, right? You realize how we can't even get Gerard to check the texts for crying out loud. I know he can hear me because I'm gonna.
I know. He's never here half the time anymore.
Gerard,
TikTok. He's
Yeah.
on TikTok.
Oh, yeah,
Gerard,
TikTok.
Wednesdays
TikTok,
at 3:00. If you ain't there, we're starting without you, and that's not cool because we're your friends, bro.
right.
Yes, we love you on
Mhm.
the and
Yeah.
we had such good
Yeah.
we did have
Yeah,
such good
it's sad Putting
talking
you out on
points.
public platform.
Mm.
Whatever, I can't speak sometimes.
We have,
Yeah.
yeah, next time I like it. We had a really good ancient talk, really, really very good one. But lately it's too much interrupted. But it would be nice if we start again with quotes or whatever. Like a kind of structured one because we
I'll be able
always
to dig,
fall back.
be able to dig a few things out of this for
Yeah.
us in the future. It's
Yeah.
really good.
And
Yeah.
I will, like beautiful.
Pythagoras was a world teacher.
Yeah, and from which country was Greek? Yeah,
He was Greek, yeah.
yeah.
100
And he
years.
was a
He lived 100
mathematician.
years. He was born about 100 years before Socrates was born. About exactly, almost 100 years. So
Okay, and he was a mathematician.
he was okay. So he was born in Greece. He studied all he could. He traveled to Egypt. He was, according to all the sources that wrote about him, the contemporary sources, he lived in Egypt for 22 years and studied with the priests. Then he went to Persia and studied Zoroastrianism. And some say he studied in Chaldea, which is in modern day Turkey. He ended up he returned to his hometown in Samos, but there was a tyrant there, so he left. He went to Syracuse, which is in Sicily, and that's where he founded his school. And his school, he never wrote anything himself. He was, like Jesus, a teacher, and like Socrates, a teacher. He never wrote anything himself. He taught what he'd learned. And basically he was even, the first one who coined the term philosophy, which is, he called himself a lover of wisdom. That's what he called himself. And he described philosophy as not a system of values, not a thing to study, but a process. A process to do what? To change this thing right here. To embody wisdom, to become the thing that you talk about.
Yeah, true. That's it.
Become it. To see. Yeah. So there's a lot here. It's really great. I'm going really slowly with it. Sue, you've read Manly P. Hall. It's like you read a paragraph and you're just like, wow.
Yeah, it's
so
not
much
something
there.
you just sit through and go through.
Yeah.
It's like you're studying.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And it's the kind of studying that you want to do. And
Yeah.
Yes.
I love learning. I mean, I have Neptune, Sag, Burst, and Sagittarius is philosophy and learning and stuff.
Yes,
And then I got Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn in 9.
yeah.
So seriously, like I said, when I learn something new, I get really freaking excited and happy. Want to tell everyone.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
love too.
It makes me happy.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like,
That's, yeah,
oh,
but
look,
that's
cool
true
shit
wisdom.
they knew. You know what I
And
mean?
that's
It's
true
cool.
knowledge, true wisdom. It is
Yeah,
exciting. But
sure
that's
it
what
is.
we should learn, teach. Nothing, not that
Yeah,
crap we get
and that's
today.
what I mean. It's even brought me like, okay, it's brought me a disappointment. Like, Jesus, you know, tardos, whatever you want to call people. Like, seriously,
Retards,
because
yeah.
we're all retarded now. Like,
Yeah, retards.
so we were really advanced and built pyramids, and then we digressed backwards into this. So that's literally a definition of retarded. But like, I learned all this stuff, and it's like, holy shit, like, we're not just some like shitty little, work, sleep, eat. Hopefully I get to enjoy 5 years of my life in my 60s. You know what I mean? Like, we're not
Right.
like, we're not evil. We're not meant to fight each other and be all like, I'm on top, and like, we're these great, amazing beings. And we literally could have superpowers. Like, we can have superpowers if we wanted to. All that's inside us. And it's like exciting. You like want everyone to tell everyone, so then everyone else will do it, and then we can all do it together. But everyone's like, you're fucking nuts. Because I don't know how to speak like Pythagoras. That's the problem. Nobody takes it.
Yeah, Socrates. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
high
I know, but
aim.
yeah.
High
And then even
aims.
if I put on a suit and tried to be all matrixy, it still wouldn't come out. Right? Because it's like, you got to see it and feel it for yourself and know that it's real in
Mhm.
order for it to happen,
Yeah, you do.
or understand it, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have to, it's like, all the teachers, all of the masters, all the sages, the gurus, they all say basically the same thing. It's not enough to know, you have to actually be it as well.
Yeah, true.
You have to embody it. And that means, you start off where you're at right now, with whatever you're dealing with right now. And you remind yourself, because you're going to forget, you're going to go and, do dumb shit, and until you don't, you're going to, fall on your face, but you have to remember, get up, dust yourself off, try again. Perseverance overcomes all
True.
obstacles. That's
Yeah.
what the Chinese say. Perseverance overcomes all evil. And the translation for that Chinese character, perseverance, also implies patience, as well as and persistence. That's all that matters. That's all you have to do. You just have to never give up, because you're gonna die, and you're gonna die, which means that your meat suit is gonna go away, and you're going to go on existing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You are the same, and who knows where we'll be. I think, for a lot of us, we come back here because this is the place where we have to learn those lessons until we're done with those earth lessons, and then we can go someplace a lot nicer, a lot lighter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But and the challenges that we face are designed to train us, to make us stronger, to help us resist the bullshit, designed to help us see. And it's also divine. It's not enough. There's a lot of people with a lot of wisdom and knowledge, but they can't use it because, they haven't developed the strength of character. And then likewise, there's a lot of people that are disciplined and all of that other stuff, really have a strong core in their personality, but are dumb as rocks because they're not exposed to knowledge and wisdom. And those are people that are kind of like, I'm using Gurdjieff's language here. Those are uneven people.
Mm-hmm.
People that have a high level of knowledge know what to do, but can't do it. Whereas people with a high level of being can act, but they don't know what to do.
Mm.
The purpose of that is to balance the two of them,
Yes.
to bring wherever you're deficient up to where it needs to be, so that you not only can act, but you'll know what to do.
Yeah, it's integrating the wisdom and awareness in your physical being and act.
Yeah, exactly.
Being practical and wise together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I feel like knowledge is more of accumulation of things you've learned, but
Yeah.
wisdom is actually integrating them and using them.
Yeah, and it's wisdom. It comes from experience, and
Yeah,
knowledge
it's not
comes out
just
of
from
books.
learning. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. There's like Jordan Peterson does a great thing about it, where this she was wise because she had compassion, and there was this lady who had a patient she had like the worst life ever, you know, third grade education. She was almost like, you know, very dumb, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? I forget the word he used, but when she finally got out of there, she understood what it was like to be in there, and she would bring her dog by, and she would come by and see the other patients there because she knew what it was like. And so he was saying she had a higher level of wisdom than some of his colleagues, because she understood from life experience, you know, how to, I guess, be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
It had nothing to do with knowing.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Our language is fucked. You can't explain shit because there's 5 words for one meaning, and 7 meanings for another word, and it's just insanity.
They've been attacking our language for a good 100 years.
Yeah.
And that's something that Orwell and Lewis and the people back in the early to mid 20th century were talking about. Orwell was like, you know, he wrote a whole essay on politics in the English language, how politics was eroding the meaning of words.
Yeah.
And this was the whole concept behind Newspeak in 1984. It was, you know, O'Brien tells Winston at one point is that if you take away their vocabulary, they won't be able to think the ideas. They'll only be able to think our ideas.
That's
if
true.
you control the language, well, look what's going on in the world today.
Yeah.
They're trying to legislate language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I seen this meme, and this was great because I mean, before I even seen the meme, like for a couple years now, I've been like, "What is organic food that don't even make sense?" There's no such thing as an organic apple.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Apple, right?
Mhm.
You know. So, and then
Yeah.
I seen the meme today, and it said, "Let's take back our language," instead of
Yes.
organic carrot.
Right.
I gotta
Yeah.
prove that I didn't use any chemicals.
Mhm.
How about you say carrot and chemical carrot?
Yes.
That
Right.
company has to list all.
I prefer poison carrot myself.
Yeah.
Even
Exactly.
Carrot and
like that,
poison.
it messes with our brains, and then the way we eventually
Does.
create and manifest
Right.
and act in society.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Look at government. Look at the labels on government. Department of Defense,
Yeah.
Department of Health and Human Services,
Yeah.
Department of Education. It's fucking Orwell.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Truth. What did they
The
do?
Ministry of
Wow.
Truth literally comes out of Orwell.
The
Literally.
Ministry of Peace. What did they do? War. The Ministry of Love. Torture. It's the same thing. That is the fucking same thing that we have right now. Yeah. The abusive language. It starts with that. It starts with the way people, the perceptions that they're given. I saw something today on just a meme, just like, the origin, the etymology of the Greek word historia. It means literally to inquire, to ask. History was an inquiry.
Right.
It was critical at one point before it became propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you see I mean, I see this is the spell because I know it's all just a show, but then I get sucked in. I don't know why I do this to myself, but it was cool, right? Because
As long as you
I
remember.
care. Anyone that holds office right now to me is a spy. They're all fucked up, and none of them are real. None of them care or are on my side.
I think the last human being we had in American politics was Ron Paul. I think he was the last one, and then after that, it's been all just zombies.
Yeah, true.
Well, Rand
Yeah.
Paul was questioned in the Ministry of Truth.
Yeah, Rand Paul did a very good job. He did
Yeah,
an
he did.
excellent job.
And he said, so you want the government to discern what and tell the American people what is true and what is false. He goes, do you know who the biggest propagator of misinformation is? The U.S. government. And then he just starts listing off. Did you hear Bush WMDs in Iran, Contra, Afghanistan? Yeah, he just starts listing. I was like, whoa, holy crap. But then again, like I said, I was like, man, this is just a fucking show. Nothing's gonna happen. They're not gonna do anything. Nothing's gonna be stopped. Ministry of Truth's going down, whether we like it or not. I don't understand why I get all sucked in. I don't know why I do it to myself. I don't.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, Russia, you know what I mean? Because Russia does have a point, and I am more on, you know what I mean? Like I get it, and then I get like, you know, Russia, and then I'm like. It's just a show, Sue. It's the rich people playing games with you.
Right. Well, it's like you know, a good example of that is when, you know, a few years ago when who was the president of Iran went and, you know, because he, you know, he goes and talks in front of the UN General Assembly. They all the world leaders get a chance to do that. Once a year or whatever it was. And, you know, the soundbite on the nightly news that night was him taking him completely out of context about something he said and turning him into like a warmonger or whatever. If you actually go on YouTube or wherever you go and actually listen or read the entire text of his speech, it's like, damn, he's dropping truth bombs all over the place.
Yeah.
And Putin does it too. If you go and, you know, and look at what Putin said, actually, and observe the context of what he said in the conversation, in the context that he was,
yeah, you agree with him.
He's right.
Yeah, but if you saw it on like CNN, MSNBC, Fox, it looks like, wow, he's a fucking psycho. But then when you hear the whole thing, you're like, wow, that makes sense.
It's true.
It is.
Yeah. That's how the game is played.
And that's why I'm always like, they're fucking with your head, Sue. Just stop. Just don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, true.
But it's the news and it's what's happening. It's actually not even happening. It's just happening on the Matrix.
In the Matrix.
Because everybody in the real world talks about it and you can't avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is.
And I was thinking about that, right? Like, it's just crazy because seriously, we are literally stuck in like a box, right? And we didn't even make the box. Like, we don't make the rules of the box or the dimensions of the box, nothing.
Right.
Right? So they made us a box. And we think we're getting out of it by using the box.
You know what they're going to do? They're already, you know, we got the old box, right? And we're still in the old box. They're busy making a new box. Yeah. That's all shiny and bright and rainbowy and oh, it's great, it's wonderful, and you know.
What do you say?
And they're trying to hide the fact that it's still a fucking box.
Right, it's still a box.
It's a turd. It's a dressed up turd.
Yeah, but my point is like okay. So we're playing a game, right? And we don't like the rules. We don't like the game, and we don't like the rules of the game. And we know that we can't win the game, but we're going to still keep playing with the game within the same parameters given.
Yeah.
That's not the only way to win this game is to either break the rules or not play. So you have to, you know what I mean? It's like you can't get out of the box.
It's like it's like the ending of that 80s movie War Games, you know, that when the computer actually finally learns not to play global thermonuclear war. The only winning move is not to play that stupid fucking game.
Right.
Because it is. And that movie was great. Taught me the futility, the self-destructiveness of the world that we're living in. Because it is self-destructive. When you have a civilization that is designed around complete and total unbridled selfishness and greed and lust for power, it is going to eat itself in the end.
Yeah, true. It is. Yeah. They cheat themselves on the end. That's
Yes.
it. Untruth is always like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, we haven't changed much in 2,000 years, and it's a death cult. It's been a
is.
death cult.
Yeah.
It literally, like I always say, happiness is illegal now. Like they just want to destroy all happiness, but humans we're really meant to like explore and enjoy life and be happy and love. Like that's what we were really created for. And so I'm serious when I say like they're trying to kill happiness, because if you're always in a state of fear, anger, anxiety, depression, sadness, you're not living. We're just existing in some kind of weird death cult.
Right. It's true. I mean, they're already, moving in this direction, but, pretty soon they're going to, make it illegal for you to smell flowers. It's dangerous. You're going to get some disease.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Polona.
Everything will be from plastic.
Right. Well, they want to get rid of your immune system so that
so everything will kill you.
Completely dependent on them.
Yeah, because you know what? I think pollen and allergies is a conspiracy too. I think everything's fucking lie. It is. But seriously, if you think about it, no way were we surviving 12,000 years ago with fucking allergies every May. You know what I mean?
We were in nature, if we did not have chemicals everywhere, if they weren't shoving chemicals down our throats all the time, we wouldn't have these 21st century problems. Wouldn't happen. None of it would be there. Yeah.
So like I said, even pollen is a fucking conspiracy. It's all, this whole world, people, is a conspiracy. You need to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah. I had major allergies until I was 25. And at that time I started just going for walks. And in about 4 or 5 years, I didn't get sick anymore. I didn't have a chronic runny nose that I'd had for years and years. It just stopped. Go figure, That's what happens. That's what happens when you get out in nature and do that.
Well, that's like people change their diet and then their cancer goes away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, Gerard.
All right. Yeah.
It's been an hour and a half.
Yes.
He's there. Look at, he's moving the comments. He's there.
He's moving the comments. That's also too. He's back.
And then like, no, I'm not here.
I know. He doesn't love us anymore. It's fucked up, really.
There he is.
There he is.
The comments are automated now. Does not mean that I'm here. If you're saying comments, they're automated. They can select them. And if you believe that, I have a bridge in London I need to sell you.
Damn it. Well, I don't understand computers. I'm easily manipulated by the internet, Gerard.
I'm sorry. Look, you know what? It's not actually my fault. I'm doing everything I can. The world's coming to an end. It's the growing season, so I actually had to run and grab water today. So I'm hustling through town. You guys are done? Was that what you were saying?
So is it rain season soon?
I think we got one more month. So I got one more month on my dams and reservoirs and get all my trees planted, get all the garden beds done. There's all the stuff I love doing. I didn't do it last year because I was building infrastructure. So I got to hustle and get it done this year. When you're greening the desert, you got to get all the water you can
to get everything started until the rain, starts, and then rainwater recovery and all that stuff takes over. But anyhow, all right. We thank you guys so much for joining 8 and 9, and hopefully it was a lot less depressive than the beginning.
Yeah, we made it better.
Yep.